saying that football is dull and boring.
I find it really hard to hear, but it's not that I completely disagree. I would use different words, and I would take certain things into account, but I can only say that we are still trying to do so. But having a lot of ball possession, I said this many times, doesn't mean you play attacking. That does mean you play attacking football, because you try to win the ball back as soon as you can, and when you have it, you try to create something. But we are struggling to create a lot of chances.
Right, Darragh, what do you think of that?
They are dull as dishwater at the moment, and I'm a massive Liverpool fan, and I'm a Slot fan. And look, you know, they got spooked. They lost games. They got spooked with no clean sheets, conceding goals, 3 to Forest and Anfield, and it's made them worse. Even though they were unbeaten in this run, it's not a pretty watch. I watched the Fulham game. Their goalie could have gone on a cruise in the second half. He had no saves to make, bar obviously the goal. And then obviously they score that, what they think's a winner, in the 95th minute, and he's bringing a central defender on. Just let it go. The game, the whistle will go a minute later. You don't need to be bringing a defender on. You know, I get it. You want to shore up and whatever, and they concede again. It's not a pretty watch. It's not good to see. As a Liverpool fan, I want him to turn it around, but I want him to address that too many of his good players aren't playing well enough, whether it be McAllister, other players in that team. They need to start stepping up to the plate. You can talk about the attacking players, and we haven't got the width, and we haven't got this player or that player, but some of the other players in the team need to step up and you know, come to the forefront and do what they did last year.
So how much of that is down to the manager, though, in Arne Slot?
Yeah, it's down to
the players who aren't playing.
He's picking them all the time. He's picking them all the time. Kanate's had not a great season, and he'll play him. And I get it, we're low on defenders and whatever else. Gomez is back now, but Kanate'll still play, and he's made a lot of mistakes. Alexis McAllister, world-class midfielder, he's had a disastrous season. I'm sick of hearing he wasn't fit in the summer. We're in January now. He needs to step up. Gravenberg, I mean, even Szoboszlai has been their player of the season, hasn't been great the last few games. You know, Wirtz, they spent nearly $200 million on. He's got 2 goals and an assist in 20-odd games. It's like, you know, any minute now. You know, these people need to step up. But equally, I'd say to the manager as well, you're picking the personnel, you're picking the formation. You know, now's the time. You've had this late 9-match unbeaten run. I think you've drew 5 of those, 6 of those games. You haven't scored a lot of goals. Not like creating a lot of goals. Take the foot off the brake. Let's rock and roll. Let's get back to what we do. Let's score some goals and, you know, see where it takes us. But this is like, as a Liverpool fan watching it, even at Anfield, it's not a pretty watch.
So when does patience run out then with Arne Slot? They are in the top 4.
He's not under pressure for his job. I'm not talking about that. I mean, even when he lost all those games, I was like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you did.
I really rate Slot as a manager. He's having a tough moment, and he's obviously talking about not saying it directly, they've had injuries, they've had issues, they've had new players needing to bed in. There's a lot of mitigating circumstances. I get all of that. But there's never a mitigating circumstance to a team the size of Liverpool playing the certain style they're playing at the moment. It's too slow, it's too laborious. They can do better than that. Even if they were picking under 21 players, that style has to be better, and he knows that. So tomorrow night's the Arsenal game.
Yeah.
This will be an interesting game. This will either be Liverpool grinding out a 1-0 win or getting battered. And that's my concern. That is my concern. If Arsenal really want to say, this is our title, now's the time to give Liverpool a good scene too. Now's the time.
But Liverpool, they are good enough. We know that they can be good enough.
Liverpool could walk in there tomorrow night and do the opposite to what I've just said. They could go in there and score a winner. Van Dijk, you know, from a set piece, which they haven't done all season in the league, and get out of there with a 1-0 win, but then take that and kick on from there. But if Liverpool go there tomorrow night, don't have a shot on goal all game, and Arsenal dominate that game and win heavily, he's under pressure, not from me, but from you guys in the media and probably a lot of the fan base. I see the comments from the fan base, which I think is very unfair. But, you know, it's a tough watch. I'm not going to lie.
Despite all the money they spent in the summer, and yes, they did recoup some. That's very important.
Their net spend over the last 2 seasons is, you know, what, 100 million a year? That's quite normal for, you know, top club in the world. That should be spending more.
But how important is it that they get a centre-back this week?
Oh, they should have been already doing a deal for Gehe. I heard Glasner the other day. Sounds like he's open to, you know, Palace aren't getting in the Champions League. They're not going down. Go offer him 15 million, 20 million, get the deal done. He's tailor-made to be Van Dijk's partner, potentially his replacement. I don't know what they're waiting for. You know, if you spend 400 million so easily in the summer, what's the big issue spending 20, 25 million now on a player that you'll have for the next 6, 7 years? This business has to be done.
Well,
has to be done.
There'd be I understand they're paying 20, 25 million pounds when he's free in a few months, but he's worth significantly more. You're still paying 20 million pounds, 80 million pound player.
It's not the cost of him now, it's the fact that someone else could steal him. He's the perfect fit for Liverpool. It's not the 15, 20 million that you have to spend. It's the 15, 20 million you got to invest so he doesn't get picked up by a top European club in the summer or Man City. We also need wide players. There is more business to be done, but I get why they don't want to do it in January. It's not a great time of year to do business, but he's an easy one. Sign a world-class centre-half that will develop into a world-class centre-half for Liverpool, future captain, be there for a long period of time, tick that box, get him in the building. Then in the summer, focus on all the other areas of the team you need to fix.
Yeah, well, let's see. We could both have roles in the new setup. The departure of Ruben Amorim has raised questions over the head coach, director of football model. So we're asking, can it work at one of England's biggest clubs? Our guest this morning is Peterborough owner Darren McCanty. Darren, very briefly, what do you think on that?
Hit and miss. More miss than hit.
OK, well, we want to know what you think Liam Rossini needs to achieve at Chelsea this season to be considered a success. We'll get Darren's take on that too. And with points dropped and a growing injury list, are Manchester City wobbling? We'll assess the state of the title race with a City fan and an Arsenal fan ahead of a crucial midweek of games. Right, loads of you getting in touch. Keep the voice notes especially coming in. You can also message or video on WhatsApp 07514 917 075 or scan the QR code. If you're on Instagram or Facebook, use the hashtag SkySportsFC. So more on Manchester United now, and we're discussing who is the best choice to be interim head coach. Darren Fletcher will take charge of Manchester United in their game at Burnley tonight, but we understand Michael Carrick and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer are being considered to take charge for the rest of the season, and so is Ruud van Nistelrooy, amongst others. Right, Darren, we were discussing this in the last hour, but in terms of the model of director of football head coach, everyone's talking about at the moment because of the Maresca situation and, of course, the Amorim situation. We know that it works at certain clubs.
Yeah.
But at the top clubs that win the Premier League, when has it ever worked?
No, I was just thinking, go back to the last 7 champions of the Premier League, Man City, Liverpool, they're managers, right? You know, Klopp, Slot, Guardiola are managers. I don't believe their titles are head coach, right?
And even before that, Pellegrini, Conte, Sir Alex.
Right, they're managers.
Yeah.
So I get it's a modern thing, it's a sexy title and everything else. They want to say, well, it's we have a technical director. It used to be director of football. I have a director of football. I've had one for 20 years. Now everyone's called a different name. It's not director of football anymore, it's technical director.
Or sporting director
Sporting
sometimes.
director. Yeah, they come up with all these fancy titles. The manager one's always just irked me a little bit. I don't believe in the head coach model. You know, my new manager was a head coach elsewhere, and I made it very clear to him in our interviews, I'm hiring you as my manager. You're not a head coach. You've got coaches that work for you. There's a million coaches at our football club. So the head coach thing, I think, takes away from a manager's authority. Don't love it. Hasn't really worked at Man United so far. I'd love to hear from Jason Wilcox. I'd like to hear from some of the technical directors, sporting directors. I'd love them, to stick their you-know-what out there and sit down with Sky or sit down with someone in the press and go, look, this is why we believe this works. This is where we see it going. This is why we think it's going to work for this club based on this. We want to hear those answers, and we just don't hear enough of them.